Good morning, YouTube. So, we're back again today with something a little special. So, the person who has supported me the most in this game has by far been my wife. She has supported me since the pre-release and since I was saving up for the pre-release. And when the game came out, she actually got into it. And she made her own build of green that is very unconventional, plays a lot of wonky ratios, and somehow it works. It's a different take on a fan favorite deck. So full credit to my wife for building this. And again, thank you to her. So let's go ahead and get right into the deck profile. We're gonna start, as always, with the Digitama. We have 3 Tanamon and 2 Freemon. So I see this line up a lot in green decks, just all over. Green decks of every kind, be it Titamon Turbo, be it Rosemon Control, whatever it is. I typically see this full house setup, and I also really like this. Freemon's really good because it gives you a 2000 buff very situationally, and a 2000 buff is one of the strongest buffs that we see currently on a level 2. This only triggers if your opponent has 2 or more suspended Digimon, which does come up with some of the cards that we are playing. But Tanamon is just much more generic. So you could switch these up and go 3 of this and 2 of this, and I think that would be acceptable as well. But these are the Digi-Eggs. They're both actually pretty good. As opposed to, other colors like red. Both of these cards are actually nice. Red doesn't really have a good Digitama, except for Baby Domon in the piercing variants. I think Baby Domon is actually a really good Digitama. But yeah, standard lineup. Onto the deck. We're going to start off with the options and the tamers first. So we have 3 Flower Cannon. Every green deck should be playing at least 3 of this card. The only debate is whether you're playing 3 or 4. My wife decides to play 3. I think 4 is the correct call, but, this is her deck, not mine. So, she's playing 3. She is playing a copy of Terror Cluster. Now, this card is amazing. It helps so much against, blue matchups, against purple matchups, if they want to get a big body out there. It helps against red. It helps against Omnimon. She was testing more than one of this card, but it was making her dead draw off of the Izzy, which she plays. So I think 1 is fine. And she wants to make room for the main star of the deck, which is 2 Dimension Scissor. So we're going to go ahead and explain the Izzy real quick. So since it's here, what this card does is it basically, it says if you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon, you get to draw a card and reveal it, and if it's not a green Digimon, it goes to the bottom of the deck. So there's a 13% chance that this card does not just say draw 1 and reveal it. So I've done the math. The only cards that won't hit are these. So this is a great card. The only reason she's not playing 2 of it is because there's a 13% chance it won't work. But the other option card that is in the deck is Dimension Scissor. Now this is the primary focus of this deck. What this card says is one of your Digimon gains the following effect for this turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, unsuspend it. So one of the nicknames that I have given this deck is Board Wipe Green, because what this card and what Lilymon combined with this card allows you to do is just attack an opponent's Digimon, suspend something else, attack the thing that you just suspended, suspend something else, attack that, suspend something else, and the entire time you're just activating all of these effects. So she decides to play 2 of this card because it is the primary focus of the deck. And you know what? It's hers, so it works. She typically resolves at least 1 of these a game. And even if you're only using this to clear like 2 or 3 smaller monsters, and then saving the other one for later in the game, that's really good because you typically in green builds if you see this card at all, you see just one of it, and they'll hold it until they can wipe your whole board with it. But since she plays 2, she can kind of activate one haphazardly and just net small advantage off of it and put herself ahead in the game state. So this is a really nice card. It combos very nicely with some of the level 5s and some of the level 6s, which is the deck's other primary focus. So on to the rookies. She's actually playing 1 Kokuamon. Now this card is hilarious because what it does is it says it has an inheritable effect that says when this Digimon is level 6 or higher, it gains security attack +1. So you give something security attack +1, activate the Dimension Scissor, clear their board, and then go in for the security check. Seems really nice. It's the only problem with this card is it costs 1 to evolve into as a level 3, which is not ideal, to say the least, but that's why there's only 1 of it. She's playing 3 Tentomon, because this card has a nuts inheritable ability, especially when combined with the Dimension Scissor. Just suspending something with 3,000 or less is really, really good. She has 4 Agumon, because the attack boost will allow you to hit over more things with the Dimension Scissor. She has 4 Gobblemon, because it is very cheap to play. And sometimes she complains about having too many rookies in her hand, even though this deck is only playing 12. So the thing I would like to note, first and foremost, about this deck is that some of the ratios are very wonky. But there are cards that you don't mind hard playing, and there are things that you don't mind sitting on. So somehow this deck functions very well with only 12 rookies. Now, there's one card in the level 5s that I think is a flex slot that she cuts to make changes for... It's the Okuamon, like later in the list. This card is not necessary in the deck. Sometimes this card is another level 3. She's using it as filler to play another level 5 right now. Sometimes it's the second Izzy, sometimes it's a second Terror Cluster. So if you don't like playing 12 level 3s, I totally understand that, because I also hate that. You can cut one of the level 5s, being this card, for a 13th level 3. And in that case, definitely play a 4th copy of Tentomon, because Tentomon is really busted when combined with the Dimension Scissor. So we're going to put that over there. Into the level 4s. This is one of the cards that I said you don't really mind hard playing. Or when I said that you don't really mind hard playing things, this is one of the cards I was talking about. It's a 4 cost with 6,000 power. It's really nice. You just play this for 4, and then on the next turn evolve it into one of the level 5s in the deck and get net a draw off of it, and then have your Izzy be live. So it's a really cool inclusion, and it's a very good card. She plays 4 Kabuterimon, because this card gives you mad buffs with the Dimension Scissor, with the Puppet Mons, with everything that you're playing to suspend their Digimon because you're playing green. You can just give all of your cards massive boosts and then just hit over everything with the Dimension Scissor, and it's really nice. This is the best level 4 green has for probably quite some time. I think later on we get like Gargomon, and it's arguably better than this card, but it has like the same inheritable effect. So like, this effect is just amazing. She plays 4 Woodmon as well to round out the level 4 counts. This is just your generic blocker. It's a good card. She actually has a lot of blockers in this deck. She has the 3 Cherrymon as well, going straight into the level 5s. So this gives her 7 blockers in total, which helps her protect some of her level 6s if her opponent tries to play something big and then tries to smack it. She can sacrifice one of these guys instead and get some value there. So there are 12 level 4s and 12 level 3s in this variant of the deck. There are also 12 level 5s, but like I said, this Okuamon is a flex slot. She's playing the 3 Cherrymon, like I said, 1 Okuamon. There are 4 copies of Lilymon. This card, like I said, is one of your key combo pieces with the Dimension Scissor. This passes the inheritable effect up to suspend something when you attack that doesn't have blocker. So that's your combo. Any level 6, this card, Dimension Scissor. It's just, that's why she's playing 4 of it. And the last level 4 is also very important. It's Digitamamon, the Eggy Boy. Now, this is one of the memory borrowers, and so combined with Dimension Scissor, if you give this card a boost off of like Kabuterimon or Freemon or something, you can just like smack over one of their rookies with the, or you can give yourself the, or pay 3 memory with the Dimension Scissor, smack over one of their rookies, gain the 3 memory that you just spent, smack over one of their rookies, restand, gain 3 more memory, and then just keep swinging and gain a bunch of memory, and then just end your turn by like hard playing a Titamon or like hard playing a Puppetmon. This card is nuts, especially in green. I'm a big advocate for playing the memory borrowers, but especially in green when you have the tools to do all sorts of wonky things, this card is amazing. So, like I said, she's playing 12 level 5s right now, but the Okuamon is a flex slot. She just wanted another body in the deck, and she didn't really need another blocker, so she valued another inheritable skill to pass up, since the only inheritable skill right now is the Lilies. So, this is a good card. Don't sleep on it. I really like this card in other green builds. This is just not the focus for her, because she has the Digitama to gain memory. So to finish it all off, we have the level 6s. We have 1 copy of Rosemon. So this is all we pulled. She would like to play 2 of this card. This card is really good. She said she wouldn't want to play more than 2 of this card, and I can definitely understand that. If you get 2 on the board, it's actually busted. But if you get 1 on the board plus a blocker, your opponent then has to play the game of kill Rosemon. Like, the objective suddenly changes from take out your security to win the game to kill Rosemon so that I can even attack the security, like, economically. So this card is amazing, and it's one of the best control cards that green has access to. She has 1 Hercules Kabuterimon. So this is the card that she would replace for the second Rosemon if we had it. But she's gotten some funny situations in games where she's had Dimension Scissor plus this and just pierced over a full board and just won the game that way. And that's hilarious. There's also a really funny combo with like Digitamamon and this card. So you can like attack with the Digitamamon to go up 3 memory, and then that gives you the 3 memory to pay for his effect so that he can restand himself, which is hilarious because a lot of people forget that he has this effect that says at the end of your attack, up to twice per turn, you can unsuspend this Digimon. So it's actually hilarious. Yeah. Digitamamon is not a level 6. But we have those 2. We have 2 Titamon. It's the big beater. It's also a 2 cost to evolve into, so it's really nice. This is a good card. Again, especially in green, because you have access to things like the Kokuamon to give it extra security attack. And then, again, with the Dimension Scissor, you can just... If this card gets any sort of buff, be it like the Kabuterimon, be it an Agumon, it's basically guaranteed to survive in security check unless you hit something rogue or dumb. But if you get like a Freemon with this and a Kabuterimon or an Agumon or like anything, you can trade with Omnimon or just straight up hit over it. And yeah, this card is important just because it provides you some power. You have to play some number of it. But ideally she would want to play 2 of this, 2 of this, and then to round out the deck, she has 3 copies of Puppet. Arguably, this is the best card in green. There are green decks that are playing less copies of Puppetmon, and I really don't understand why not. Unless you're focused on like a champion rush or like you're playing like a hybrid, like I see the blue green champion rush hybrid, and even they're playing some number of Puppetmon. But if you're playing a green deck that evolves into level sixes, you need to be playing at least 3 of this card because you do have the option to evolve into this, and every time this card swings, you gain a memory. And while you think the 10,000 power might be low, remember, you get buffed with things like the Kabuterimon, with the Agumon, with the Freemon. So you have all of that going for you. And again, if you Dimension Scissor, every time this attacks, you gain a memory. It's not once per turn, it's every time. So she has what she can do is she can wait until she has multiple Puppetmons in her hand, and she can Puppetmon me once, and then I get something suspended, and then everything that I swung out with before that stays suspended. And so then I try to put things back up on the board, and then she Puppetmons me again. And then on the next turn, what she'll do is she'll gain a bunch of memory by Dimension Scissoring the Puppetmon and swinging over like 9 of my cards. It's actually busted. This card with Dimension Scissor, this card with Dimension Scissor. I didn't mention it earlier, but you really want Rosemon to be suspended, so this is a good target for Dimension Scissor because you want to be suspended after you're done attacking. And this is another really good target with Digitama, because what you can do is you can attack with the Digitama, go up 3 memory, and then since this is suspended and you want this to be suspended, you just evolve this into this with the memory you just gained. And then you already have a Rosemon suspended. So you kind of fill the prerequisite there. But this is my wife's homebrew green, or Dimension Scissor Control, or as I call it, board wipe green. It's a really cool deck. It's, like I said, it's playing some wonky ratios, and somehow it works. So if you're playing the traditional style of Digimon, and you want to build a deck that's kind of alternative to that kind of thinks a little bit outside the box, maybe this deck could be something you try. But again, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day.